We in there.
Are we? Okay, so I want to make sure we share.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Minutes to hop on. But meanwhile, Evie, if you want to share um, it on your page, I'm going to share it on my page.
Okay. I don't think I know how to do that part yet.
Oh, okay. Then you just stay right there. I'm going to.
Thank you. Because I was told not to touch much. I was told to come in, sit down.
You look pretty when you stand there. Okay.
Yeah, keep my phalanges to myself.
Anything? Okay. I'm putting it. I'm trying to put it in the. You
Tech
got it in the
support got
group? Yes. Y'all, I also want to take a moment to shout out Olanda. You know, she's in the background, but she is our tech support. She is, I'm aging myself, thebomb.com. Okay. Um, Trying to share this everywhere really quickly. Okay. All right. I think I shared it. Okay. So I'm going to pull up my notes. So if you see me look away for a bit, know that that is what I'm doing. So, hi, everyone. I am Miriam. I want to welcome everyone to this special episode. This one is actually truly going to be a deep one. So, if you have ever experienced loss, that is something that we will be wanting to give you in an advance notice of that. This space is where we honor strength, and it takes a lot for Ebony to be showing up. So, I want to welcome once again on episode 2, Ebony Lee. So, as a pro se litigant, I've learned a lot from Ebony. We've built a lot of rapport together. This is why we're coming on to share a bit of her story, which I know you said you haven't done before, have you?
Not at all. Very private individual.
Okay. This episode, again, is a deeply personal one for Ebony. We'll be talking about someone important in her life that passed, a woman who spent years, a woman who has spent years building and giving support to mothers, on, a bit about her mom and her loss and her experience through that journey. But we'll reflect on the women who helped shape her, whether it be good or bad, how she grew from that, and where she is now. Ebony, I'm sorry. Before you became an Ebony, I can't speak today. Now we have a nice background, and I'm acting brand new.
Mm.
Um, Before you became the advocate you are known as today, you were once a little girl, and I know it hear from you. You know, who was it? I think you had spoken about 6 years old. That you had someone pass. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
When I was about 6, my mom passed. She got sick and ended up in the hospital. She was here one day, and the last day of her being sick was the last day of me seeing her.
So, can you share, a little bit about before she got sick? What do you remember most about her?
I remember the fun times. Like I remember telling you when we was talking. My mother was so dramatic. She was a daddy's girl, the same daddy's girl I turned into with my pop, her father. Um, I remember the story I told you about the cats. My mother was a cat lover. Um, I remember the night because my grandmother used to do all these little weekend card parties on 135th, right? All right, so my mom went down to our apartment. It was at Miss Paulette's house. She lived, here's my grandparents' house on one side of the fence, and there's Miss Paulette and Shane. And we was in the basement apartment. and my mother was walking down the stairs, and, and her cat had kittens, and my mother stepped on one of the darn kittens and came throwing herself around, screaming, hugging onto my grandfather. Ah, oh, I killed it! I killed it! Go check and see if I killed them all.
Oh.
My grandfather, he used to smoke Marlboro Lights, got up from his card game with his cigarette hanging out his mouth. Oh, Karen. And he went and got the kitten. She made everybody stop. And there was a vacant field. It's the police officer Edward Byrne Park now. But before it was a vacant lot. And she made him give that cat a funeral.
Oh.
And we all had to stand around while she buried that kitten. And when she buried that kitten, my grandfather said, "Now let's go back and play these cards." While she was still being dramatic and crying. Now she done went into my grandparents' house crying on the couch.
Now, how old was your mom when she passed?
My mother she was about 25, 24, 25. She died in 91. Mm-hmm.
And do you have memories of how life changed, you know, after she passed?
When my mother was alive, we used to do silly stuff. My mother was a young mother, so she still liked to party and go out. And I remember it was just always fun. Whether it was fun around the house, pillow fights, or her taking us out late at night, just waking us up and we played tag around people's cars. After that, life changed drastically. I was living in the house of horrors. I lived with my aunt, my grandparents, well, a few of my aunts. It was the revolving door house for everybody. But I remember with my aunt Valerie, I went from having hugs to no form of contact unless it was with my pop. And
Mm-hmm.
the only form of contact we did have was me getting my ass beat.
And
So,
how did you find out your mom was sick?
well, that last night I had seen my mom. She came and me and my brother was already at my grandparents' house. It was a weekend. My mother actually came to pick us up. Got sick. She was throwing up, and she was throwing up blood. And my grandmother Wilma told her she can either go to the hospital or she won't get me and my brother. So
Mm.
my mother, being who my mother is, she went to the hospital. Never came
So
back.
even in that moment before, it was kind of like you saw how tough your grandma was on her.
Yeah, yeah,
There was no comfort like, hey, go check yourself. It was more like even before your mom went into the hospital, it was kind of like a tough love environment for you.
yeah. It was like, do this or you get what I want. It's one way or it's my way or no way. You want your kids, you'll go to the hospital. Because my mother was also complaining about some pains, some back pains, and things like that the weeks prior. But then it just got to where she was throwing up blood and things like that. So that changed the narrative.
Now, I know you said that you got to see her that one last time, so it kind of sounds like were you able to see her when she was in the hospital?
Nope. Mm-mm. I would ask.
And how
I would
what
ask.
would they tell you when you were
I got all kinds of. Mm. Oh damn, damn Mimi. I got all
I
kinds of.
know it's tough.
It is. I got all kinds of excuses. I remember being told, "Oh, you can't see her like that. Oh,
When
she's not talking." Oh, I even got told one time she didn't want to see me. I
is
remember
now were
Valerie.
these the same people telling you?
Yeah, But I actually got those
Or,
words.
mm,
I heard it in those exact words, so I didn't have to assume it, right? Those were words getting. Go
right.
get me some tissue. And those were the words giving.
Now
And
there's something while we were there was something that caught my attention. We were kind of going over this privately beforehand. You said that someone had mentioned that this was to protect you.
yeah, she told me, your mother wouldn't want you to see you to see her like that. This is to protect you. This is to keep you safe. Keep me safe. Heck, just let me go say hi. I remember my cousins being able to go. I remember my aunt going, my grandmother, my brother even got to go. I was the only one that didn't get to go. Hmm.
At that moment, could you understand why like you yourself? I know we're getting told all these things, but like did you understand?
No, and I think that's what made it a little harder. Even as I grew up, I think that's what made it a little harder. Because even at her funeral, I was outside. Everybody was in the church at seeing me. I was outside. Even in the pictures that I still have to this day, I'm outside by the double stairs with Karen, my mother's best friend. They took me to the store to get candy. And like, ugh. So I got to see the casket go in. I got to see the casket go out. I got to see the casket go down. Hmm.
This is a question we didn't go over before, but it just kind
So
of came up right now, and I'd really like to hear your thoughts. But like, you're 6 years old at this time, and I know later on we're gonna find out the real reason of why you weren't told the truth or you weren't really allowed to see her.
yeah,
But the mom, because you have children yourself, if they were six, do you think in your heart you would allow your children to go to such a hard
I
moment?
would. I would. Even when my grandparents died,
Hmm.
I let them go to both. Why? Because that's closure. We can't protect people from everything in life, especially not our children. I'm learning that. And what I teach parents, as much as we want to protect our children, we have social media. They're in school. What? There's no turning a blind eye. There's no blind eye for children. They see everything. Social media has opened
Right.
the door to they see people die on social media. They see murder happen. They see trauma. We can't
They
protect
do.
anybody from anything. And when we try, even with my teenagers, when we try, we're literally building more trauma. This built trauma. And I'm a resilient
I
individual,
love that.
but it built trauma. Like I tell a lot of my students, I don't want you all to have children who are 30 trying to heal from trauma that you build in them.
Right. I love that. I think that's such a hard truth for all of myself too, because I think in attempting to protect my children from anything, I saw that they were hurting more when they couldn't protect them from
Yeah,
versus kind of allowing them to go through, I wouldn't say controlled pain, but kind of being there and teaching them step by step how to process either pain or any obstacles that come their way. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Now, kind of moving on, were you to back to your mom? What condition she had? Did you have any information of going on with her?
I didn't find out till I was older, but I found out she had lupus. She had lupus, and back in the day, in the early 90s, they didn't know much about it, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
finally, she slipped into a coma after being in the hospital a few months because they was just trying
Hmm.
anything. And the way I found out was once I finished school and I figured out how I can get those records, I went for them myself.
Mm.
How to be in
So
life.
now, right. Okay. And I do see that we're going to go through that part before we get to that point, because I know that's an impact on you that was really touching to hear. Because I know that's a moment of growth. But your mom's condition, right? How is it after Ebony at 6 years old doing after her mom passes, and now she's living um, immediately right after with grandparents, or is it your aunt?
I was surviving. I wasn't living. I had my aunt Ruth. Well, I called her Grandma Ruth at the time. I would sneak off to her house because she lived in the street across. That's my father's family. I would sneak off over there whenever I could
Hmm.
and try to run back real fast. She used to have
Was
this
that your
little
first
TV.
space?
Yeah, it was one of them. When I wasn't getting her in trouble, when they found out I was over there, but it was one of them. Hmm. And she used to have this TV right there in the kitchen, a little box TV with a long old antenna sitting on the counter. And she used to make, and she had this pantry that you could just walk in and looked like a, it looked like you was walking through a tunnel. She had all the snacks, child. She did. She would get in there and she always sat by the window by the backyard and she had her paper. I used to love sitting by the fish tank in the foyer. And then she had one of them grandfather clocks. And it was just comfort. It was. Even if I didn't even go in there just to talk to her, and I just would go to the front door and sit right there by the fish tanks on the couch with all the plastic on
That was your
it.
escape.
Your- Her house never changed. Never.
Were
Yeah.
you? I know you said you had siblings before. Were you and your siblings kept together?
My sister? No. Mm-mm. My sister did a lot to find me. She even hired private investigators, but they didn't want her to find me. But she found me when we were older. I was I was pregnant with my third child when she found me through one of my cousins. She would they actually kept me from all of my father's side of the family. They did. But my sister finally found me when I was like 22.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, when your mom passed, you go to your maternal grandparents.
I went to my aunt. Technically, my aunt went to the courthouse. The courthouse had asked me and my brother at that time, because me and my brother had the same mother. Me and my sister do not have the same mother. We have the same father. We look the
Mhm.
most alike. We look like twins, down to the personality, but we have the same father. Me and my brother Anthony have the same mother. Took us to the courthouse, Queens County. The judge called. I remember the judge calling us up to the bench, and trust me, it's nothing like it is nowadays.
Was it
And
less
he,
scary, more scary?
it was more scary because what we know about court, but it was like you can't get a judge now to ask a child what they want. We have to file motions for
Mm.
that, and
Yes,
half of
we
them
do.
still don't listen. So
Hmm.
he asked, he was like, "Who do y'all want to go with?" None of us picked Valerie. I picked my Aunt Joyce. My brother Anthony picked my Aunt Margaret. He picked my Aunt Margaret because she was the fun aunt. She was the aunt that was taking us to school in a limo, right? She was the
Hmm.
party. So he picked her. I picked Aunt Joyce. And I picked Aunt Joyce because I remember when she had the apartment over there on the Ave. I remember the breakfast that she used to make, and it was simple. It would be bowls of cereal with bananas in it and a cup of orange juice, but it was love, right? It was love.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked her. None of us picked Valerie. None of us. And I never would have. How did she end up with us? I don't know. Because none of us would pick to live in hell. And that's literally what I grew up in.
So that was your first experience in the court system,
Hmm.
not being heard on what was in your best interest.
Yep.
That's amazing. So moving past, now you're living with your Aunt Valerie, and I'm guessing she's aware that you didn't want to live there. Did you ever try to express to her like, "Hey, this is why I didn't want or chose to live with
They
you"?
put me in therapy because I was having nightmares, right?
Mhm.
And even the therapist let her know I don't want anything to do with her. I considered her evil and I pretty much hated her. So she took me out of that therapist, got me another therapist. And guess what? The consensus was this child cannot bond with you because of reasons of you. And any therapy or anybody she would take me to, if they did not have the answer she wanted,
Mhm.
she would try to find somebody else. Then she moved me out of New York, away from my father's family. That's when I started going by, magically going by a different last name, the Lee
Mm.
name. My
Uh,
sister was looking for my Jadon name. So
wow. So that's a huge change going from your mom passing, losing a parent, and then your identity to something you didn't ask for. Did
yep.
that disconnect you at all, even more with, your mom and that feeling of loss?
I don't think I ever disconnected from my mom. I just, you know how you shut down and you block something out so that you
Mm-hmm.
can go on. I really just tried to do everything but be in these houses. Like school was an outlet. I was not one of them kids that would play sick because I didn't want to go to school. I had, I was,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't even need to wake me up in the morning. I was up before you. I don't need your breakfast. I don't need nothing. I,
Mm-hmm.
I was 16 having to get my own school clothes.
So financially, they weren't even supporting you. These people who are supposed to be your home, your now protectors.
I started receiving Christmas gifts at 5. I remember being 7, told I wasn't getting Christmas because I didn't get along with her. No, I was 13. I wasn't getting Christmas because I didn't get along with her quote unquote husband. You put your hands on me. Be glad I
Mm-hmm.
didn't take your life. You put your hands on me. So it's my fault that he put his hands on me. You lost your mind.
So at this point, you're kind of like between, let's say, 6 and 7. I know that's still pretty young, but of the court and how it affected you, like how the court had that decision, you spoke.
Mm-mm,
No.
mm-mm. Not
So.
at that time. At that time, I just really felt like she just got her way, and she just this. We're talking about a woman who, and I know a lot of women can't have children for different reasons, but we're
Mhm.
talking about, and I'm not putting nobody down. I'm just telling my story, and it's a part of my story. She can't have children, right? So
Mhm.
she was looking for that. At first, that's what I thought she was looking for until I realized it was a money thing, that she was getting a check that we never saw, but she was getting a survivor's benefit check, and then she got my mom's insurance money. So she did all of these things, which she bought her a house. I remember there was another check that came when I was like 19. And it was actually one of her foster kids that had brought it to me because he saw my name on it in the mailbox. And she took that and brought her a car.
Now, I know, speaking of you watching all these things happen and saying it was a safe haven for you, since your grief was in silence, did your grief show up at school with rebellion or any other ways?
Yeah, I was a smart ass, but a lot of my teachers saw through it. I had some good teachers. I had some good teachers. They stood by me, man. I remember I actually caught a charge. I was arrested in school. You ain't
And
know that.
I was gonna say, is this because you're 5'6", or are you kind of jumping to middle school? Like, is this in elementary?
Nah, I went to middle school. I was arrested in middle school. I jumped over. Sorry, but
No, 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 you're fine.
I was I was a I was a hard headed, even in elementary. But it was like it got worse as I got older because I wanted out. I tried everything. I didn't even when I got arrested. I didn't care. Take me,
Oh, that was your out.
take
Back
me.
to the schools, the school. You mentioned a lot of your teachers um, could see through that. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you feel like they could see past that? What are they doing?
I went to St. Clement Pope Elementary, Mr. Humes. I was disruptive. I was always very smart, right? I'm book smart. I'm street smart. I was always very smart. So I was always finish my work before everybody. So now I'm bored and I'm the class clown. It's time to laugh. I remember Mr. Humes picking my desk up and putting me outside. All right, outside the classroom because he just got fed up. But then he came out and he literally got down to my desk level and just talked to me. Do you know that man hugged me?
And this is a time where sometimes you're already, it sounds like your trust is not all there.
Yep.
What did that hug mean to you in that moment?
That was the first time I cried in a long time. That was the first time.
I swear, Ebony, hearing you, even preparing for this was not easy. I remember telling you, like, hey, I think I'm breath. So I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing. Even on this side, it's hard to hear what you experience and not want to take Ebony and give her a hug.
I might not talk to you for a week, Mimi.
Okay, sounds good. I would understand because it's a lot. But it's beautiful to see that even in the middle of your loss, there was always like this seed that God had planting strength, planting that which was already yours, which is to be this beautiful woman representing others and helping others. And I, like I tell you, I love you, but it's only part of your journey, destination that you are in now. And only Lord knows how would have it would have turned out any other way. Um,
We go through it to grow through it.
mhm.
We go through it to
And
grow.
then it brought you to becoming an advocate later on, and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing really great.
I
So
appreciate it.
I'm gonna jump a little forward because I wanna tell people like we've taken you on this journey of pain, but I want to take them on the journey of how this started your path into advocacy. So when you first start realizing, when did you first start realizing you wanted to practice law?
God, when I was arrested as a kid, that one judge in Amherst County,
Mm-hmm.
he saw me through a lot, right? He saw me and he saw through Valerie. I remember because I had a kid really young, right? but
Mhm.
I've never been on like welfare or anything. I always did everything I'm supposed to do. He was the only one who saw through her and spoke up. I remember when she had lied on me to try to get me arrested, right? And then she had these foster kids, and she had two of them lying on me. And I'm like, I don't even live with you or near you. I was in the car because you asked me to come do hair and makeup for one of their mothers for a wedding, who is a recovering addict. And I was willing to do it for free. I was in school at that time. I was going to Liberty. And I remember she pulled over to the side of the road and called the cops and told them I was having a mental break. What? And the one thing that judge did, and he said, "Well, go get a mental evaluation, bring it back to me." I went. If you know me, you know I'm going. All right, I'll be there tomorrow. And I remember even the evaluation
Mhm.
saying, "But everything she's been through, I'm surprised she's still holding it together." This woman had called family around because I remember my cousin Michael calling. It's like, Ebony, I thought you was in jail. She said you was in jail and she had custody of your kids. I was like, no, I don't have a record like that. So when they arrested me, they let me go. No bond, no nothing. R&R. O&R, right? So,
Mhm.
well, it's called O&R in some places and R&R in other places. And I'm like, he was like, oh wow, she told my mom, Joyce, and Aunt Margaret that she had your kids. My kids are sitting right here, and let's not forget they have a father.
Mhm.
Um, so when we went back to court, because she also tried to file for custody, the judge let her know, if you come back in my courtroom, you're going to jail.
Mm.
She let him know that. She was like, because you was here, because I had went through something else, and she had testified and spoke so highly of me. But when she had filed those documents was on that same day, forgetting one, we're before the same judge. Amherst County, Virginia only had one judge. Okay.
Mhm.
So we go in there, and I said, Your Honor, this is about money. This is about, I didn't even have a lawyer then. I read. That was my first case that I really advocated for myself. Okay. And let me take you back for a minute. When he had me do that, when he had me do the mental health evaluation, he also instructed me to tell her that they said I was bipolar and schizophrenic and I'm medicated. And this
So
is
she was telling you to lie.
no, the judge was, yes. And
Oh.
that's when I learned about a two-party state and a one-party state from this
Mhm.
judge, because he told me to record the call. And I went up to her house. I did him one better. And I was still my same self, but I said, oh, yeah, they prescribed me this and that. And this was 2 weeks later.
Mhm.
And she said, oh, you sound so much better. You're talking more logical now that you're medicated. Oh, look. I remember taking the judge all of that and giving it to him, and that's what helped him say, if you come back in my courtroom, you will go to jail. I still have those transcripts.
I'm sure you do. I would too. That's
I have never been medicated for nothing but I do have PTSD. But that came from my childhood. I was diagnosed with that as a child too.
so. I'm curious to see because these are now we have two moments in your life where you're and it has a huge impact on your life. Because first, it was meant to protect you and to put you into a safe home after your mom's passing, and now trying to protect not only yourself but your children, right? Do
Mhm.
these two moments kind of, now that you're reflecting them on them now at this age, do you kind of think like, hey, at first this was my view of the courtroom and now this is my other side of the coin? Like you had more respect or kind of in the unknown with
I had more
courtroom?
respect. I had more respect, and I kept a relationship with that judge. I kept a relationship with some of the attorneys I met in that county. When I first started my group, I started referring people to those attorneys while I was still a third year. Um, Now that judge sits on the Supreme Court in Virginia, and I remember calling there 3 weeks ago. The clerks and everybody still remember me, and I still talk about him because he's upstairs now and not downstairs. And I still talk about him, and I say how he's older now, but he's still such a genuine and good man. And
Good.
if he died tomorrow, I can promise you I'd be sitting right on the front row at his funeral. Anything they have for him,
I'm happy.
I'm gonna show up.
I was gonna say I'm happy to hear that, and I know that when we go into our future podcast after everyone gets to know you, um, I don't know if you'd like to share just like episode B, because I feel like this is going to be such a pivotal of what we're going to teach people that we wish the judges that are like this, and then the opposite. Give us a little detail about that.
We're gonna teach people how to navigate the courtroom. Everybody can't afford an attorney, so I teach you to think like an think like a judge but argue like an attorney. I teach you to advocate for your children, whether it be through with them witnessing DV, sexual assault, anything, custody, having an alcoholic as one parent. And I teach you how to navigate your way through the courts and win that judge. Sometimes it's not every judge is not perfect. Everybody doesn't go into this field with a good heart, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
teach you to read that judge to see what you're going up against before going into that courtroom. We teach you the body languages. We teach you the words. We teach you to listen twice and speak once. That's the only way that you can learn anything, even in the moment. We teach you to pivot.
Right. I love that. Now, right now, here is what was the most healing part about being able to do this work now, like being able to be a lawyer and do this.
When I listen to people, like in the classes I give weekly, right? And I listen to people like we
Mm-hmm.
have one mother. She was like, and she was just thanking me. She made a post thanking me. She was like, the judge spoke so highly of my emotions and how straightforward to the point, and it spoke for my child and my child only. And I can only thank you, Ebony, for teaching me how to look up state statute, case law, and how to argue it and imply it, and to actually speak for my child. What really helps me is many of them come in there crying at every drop of the hat, and now they just have a strength that's unmatched. They're able to, like yourself, walk into that courtroom as if you did all the years in law school in the judge's seat, and you get the same respect as an attorney without having to pay the cost to be the boss. But they see that you mean business. You're not going in there all over the place. You all have listened, you're organized, you have your trial binder, you know your statutes that you want to argue. You have done the classes with me. You've shown me what you've drafted. I've proofread it. I've said, hey, yeah, that's where we're at. That's good. Now, y'all've gotten live with me and went over it. You did your mock trials, and you've earned the judge's respect.
I will say I think I'll ever get over that just yet, maybe until my case is over, but it's genuinely
I love you
and
too.
I can't wait to see where we get with this after. It's so true to come to you a broken mother um and afraid that like the other person has money. They're threatening you with these things that you don't know how to prove in court yet, and you know, you all you had to say was I see you, and you've got work ahead of you, and then just teaching in and out with such passion and such love for it that like genuinely I appreciate you.
And that's all it
And made it without crying.
Yeah, right. Both of us been crying all day. We usually laugh all day, but and that's what it
Right?
takes, and that's what I've noticed. And even when we get a little agitated with others, we still say, "Okay, let's go show up. Let's put our hats on. Let's show up because we have
Mm-hmm.
kids. We have kids watching us. We don't care about the adults right now. We have kids. We have kids, and we're gonna make sure all these kids. I look at mine, and like the conversation we had earlier today when I was sitting in the car venting. Yes, I vent
Yep.
too. And I said, that's my biggest fear. And you was like, is it just not being financial? I said, no, it's the whole mother aspect. You never get over that. You want to be the perfect
Mm-hmm.
mother, and there's no perfect mother, but there comes a time where you wake up and you're just thinking, am I doing it right? Even me, am I doing it right? My baby cried today. Let me go apologize, but am I doing it right? So yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
have to keep going. Not there's no code book for us to read that tells us how to be perfect. We just keep going and we keep fighting. And we have
And I was
fathers
gonna
in
say,
the
I mean,
group. We have fathers in the group.
mhm. We do. We do. I think that's gonna be super important to share so many times over and over again because it is dads, it is grandparents, it is whoever is willing to be that voice for these beautiful children. That sometimes it may not be as even your story is a great example of you just needed one person, whoever that was, to have that fight in them to speak up. I hope that everyone who may not have that financial resource that's watching this knows like it could you because we have people with not being blood relatives, um,
We have step
there are some.
parents. We've had step parents take both their husband and the ex to court, and we've had two of them win full custody. We teach you how to just close your mouth, document the right stuff, keep the pettiness out of it,
Mhm.
and they win. They win. It's about being able to show up the right way. And that's what we're going to teach everybody. That's what we're going to continue to teach everybody.
And I think that's what I find most incredible about you, Ebony, that you've taken some of life's most painful truths, moments, and turned it into this lifelong mission. And you're doing amazing because I can't imagine not finding you and have that support system, not just by you, but the community that you've built.
Mm-hmm.
Like other parents supporting parents, and even when you're not having your back to keep this, and it's just beautiful to me. And I wait for the podcast because I think that's when everyone we keep talking about
And
into the
get those
picture and
stories
putting our
and those wins and where they're at. And some of them, we need, I want to emphasize, we don't just focus on just court, we focus on the healing of you. We have talk time where everybody, it's a safe space. What you say here stays here, and we're going to talk you through it. We're going to all get through it together because we all fight in the same battle, just a different mask. Just a different mask. And we
no
cry together.
understanding.
I love you too, Alonda. We cry together. We come together. We people meet. They support each other. We have a resource where some of them, if you're in the same location, you can have someone go to court with you to support you, not represent you, but just to support you and be your village, be your village, because that's what we call it, the village. We are the village. We fight like family, but
Yes,
we get through it like family too.
this is very true. Take it back because speaking of family, it's kind of me back to Valerie.
Hmm.
Now that you're older and are a bit more knowledgeable, have you had a chance to kind of have a conversation with her?
Um, I moved the screen. Can you still see me? I
Yeah,
actually,
completely.
I have actually, as of 3 years ago, I've tried with her. Even through COVID, I paid her bills through COVID, got her through COVID, was paying her mortgage because she's still blood, right? The rest is between her and
Mm-hmm.
God. The rest is between, brought her groceries.
Mm-hmm.
I remember sending over $5,000 to get her car fixed. She never even used the money to get her car fixed. But I did it all. Paid light bills, took her to Disney with me and my kids, and yet she still for, did mental and emotional abuse to my kids, and that I don't play about my babies. And then she actually tried to kidnap one of my children.
So
And
we'll
outside of that,
talk about.
yeah, she tried to kidnap one of my children, and it became a violent situation. Because if anybody knows, I stayed
Mm.
up, and it was one of my children that
So
took her
I
life.
know that, and I know you kind of spoke a little bit about reconnecting with her and not going so smoothly. So even with her still not being open or in a place where she can give you what you needed, have you been able to forgive her in spite of actual words
I
from
forgive
her?
I forgive her. And it's
Yeah.
not because I was forgiving her because she sought forgiveness. She never sought forgiveness because even till this day she would try to tell you everybody else is crazy and she doesn't do anything to people. If you
Mm-hmm.
hear my children speak of it, they won't even they say that woman. They won't even say her name. They don't like if I say these people are my family or our family. They will correct me. And I respect it because especially with my 16-year-old, my 17-year-old, and my 24-year-old, they can remember everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the forgiveness I gave her was not for her, it was for my own healing. The forgiveness I gave her was for me not to go to hell, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I did not want to become a hard hearted individual. I did not want to become her. I forgave her without her ever giving me an apology. I forgave her with her still trying to harm my children and lie on me in court. You'll never be in my presence again because I'm no fool.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want to be hard and I still want to have a heart somewhere. So the forgiveness was given years ago.
Do
Years.
you do you kind of remember when you felt like you started to heal from specifically her trauma she you feel she caused you?
I will say about good 6 years ago. It wasn't easy. I kept my guard up. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't care about people. I was still in school and it was like I'm gonna just tell you what it is and I'm gonna keep moving. Even when I was starting the group, I'm just here to help y'all, tell y'all what it is. I don't want to be y'all friends. I don't want to have a relationship with you. I just want to tell y'all this information because you tagged me in something. Y'all asked me a question and I want to leave. But I remember it was around when I was pregnant with KJ. I remember I was being on bed rest and I'm just sitting in this house on the couch. And when you by yourself, with yourself, you have nothing but time, you think. You think. My blood pressure was high. And I kept telling the doctor, I'm not doing anything. I'm not angry about anything. And I remember that doctor telling me, yeah, it's something. I remember Triple saying, what are you holding inside?
Mm.
I said, you're not my therapist.
Eh.
He said, no, he says there's something you're holding inside. I'm like, because I'm not arguing with people. It's just me. I lay around all day like you tell me to. He said, no, it's something because your blood pressure stays high and you're almost about to stroke out. So that's when I had to get myself and figure out what it was. And I wasn't willing to leave my children here because I couldn't let things go. So I let things go. I let it go.
I feel like
Went to
each time
therapy
it
and
was that mother in you, that protection you wanted to give your children, even while in the womb. just helping you grow.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? Like, I feel like when I was growing up, um, I had more of this sense of believing that children were an obstacle. Like with children, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's, you have to sit down and be this wife and devoted person that does nothing but be a mother, which being a mother is a lot.
They
But
were
like,
my freedom and my
they were
best.
your freedom. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, they were my freedom and my best friends because I believe they gave me the fight to go on. They really was. Like I talk to my children, and well, you see me and my kids, girl.
Yeah, but they don't. So tell us.
Yeah, my kids are literally like my best friend. Like even Bella, she'd be like, "Oh, you can't get mad at me. You're my best friend." I'd be like, "Forever." Even though she talk junk to me, tell me what she gonna do to me.
I
But
know,
like,
and your baby's like, you don't talk to me like that.
yeah,
I'm like, that's Evie all the way. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you don't talk to
don't
me
talk to
like
me.
that. I'm your child, but you're gonna get this right, and you owe me an
Uh-huh.
apology because that was wrong. And like even Zaria, she's 16. Me and Zaria, we butt heads, but she know I'll give my life for her, and she'll come down. She'll be like, "Remember, ma, I'm your first best friend."
Aw.
And then my 24-year-old has to remind her, "I've been here since she was 16. I believe I was her first best friend." But I
Have
tell my
you?
children, yeah, who you go to, I'm always, you're going to have friends. And yes, I'm your mother first, but I'm your best friend. There's nothing you can't tell me,
Mm.
even if it might make me a little disappointed in the moment, even if it might make me feel away. I'm still going to show up for you. I want you to not, and the reason I might feel that way is because my goal in life was not to make you like me, but I want you to always be better than me. So I might be a little disappointed, but you're my best friend. I'm
Right.
gonna fix it for you. I'm gonna fix it for you.
I
Whether
was
it's
gonna,
going to, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna Olivia Pope the mess out of this.
and I was gonna say your kids are. You sound very confident when I hear them on the phone. But before I jump into my next question, Amanda Ray said, "Hi, ladies."
Hey Amanda, we miss you. We miss you.
So much to say hi. On your mom, have your kids. What's your kids? Do they know about your mom? What have they heard about your mom? Like,
They know about my mom. So all right. So you know my mother's name was Karen. So
mhm.
my oldest son, who is 24, his name is Kron. It was the only male name I could make out of Karen. But then I have my daughter, who is 11 now. Her name is Karen as well. Well, her name is Karen. She has my mother's whole name and then her father's last name. So they know
Mhm.
about my mom. We talk about my mom all the time and my father. We have pictures.
Mhm.
Um, they know about my mom. So and they be like they call her Grandma Karen. I still light a candle for my mom
And I
on
was
her
about
birthday.
to ask you that. How do you keep your mom alive?
I light a candle for my mom, and my daughter Cheyenne was born the day after my mom's birthday. They're both Pisces.
I know this is
Mhm.
jumping off subject because we don't really talk too much about religion and things like that here, but do you believe that that was on purpose?
I do. I believe everything happens on purpose. I'm very spiritual, as you know. I
Mm.
don't follow religion, but I follow my God, and I have a relationship with my God. And I do believe that was on purpose because she wasn't due. All my children were preemies, but she was a preemie. But the funny thing is, she was a preemie, but she was an overweight preemie.
Oh God, I'm sorry for you, Evie, because they you're like I didn't even get away with it with her being a preemie to me.
Right, the rest of the babies was so easy, but she came out, I mean, fat face and chunky. But her being an overweight preemie also helped her. They had to develop her lungs, but as far as her eating and stuff, they was like, well, we don't worry about that eating schedule. They allowed me to nurse, but it was just her lungs. They had to make sure they had to give her the steroids and stuff while I was pregnant before she came out. But they was like, no, she
Eating's not the
came out.
problem.
She was my biggest baby.
Out of all of them?
out of all of them.
Oh shit.
She was my biggest baby. And she tells people that now. She was like, I was her biggest headache then, and I'm the biggest one now.
Mm-mm.
She's 17 now.
Uh-uh. Touching back on your healing journey, I'm curious to know now, what does forgiveness mean to you, like both as a woman and as an advocate?
Forgiveness just means growth to me. Forgiveness. And this is where religion comes in, or spirituality, because I don't follow normal religion, right?
Mhm.
This is where it comes in because it's like, who am I doing this for? Because we hold on to things like, oh, F them. You did that to me. You owe me an apology. Why should I forgive you? People have it wrong. When you hold on, you can't get over something, right? Just like if you're running a race and there's these obstacles in front of you, unless you jump over it, you can't get over it, right? So you just have to throw it out
Mhm.
there. It's like forgiveness, just throw it out there. You can't just say you forgive somebody. You have to actively forgive them. Even with Valerie, I can walk past Valerie right now and say hi. I might not stop to give you a hug or a conversation. I could say hi, nice to see you, and go on with my day and not feel away. Why? Because I forgave you. Her, I can tell you, God is playing a thing on her because you don't have my number and stuff, but you call around telling people you wish you could have a conversation with me. You want to talk to me, and then when you call me, you want to talk about my kids or asking me, well, how can we do this? There's nothing. We don't need to discuss nothing, but okay. Thank you. So I let God deal with those people. You worry about your soul, your salvation, and where your spirit is at. You just forgive. You forgive. Ask yourself, what do I gain by holding on to this hatred?
And this is true. Now, if your mom were here to see you today, Evie, what do you think she'd say about you sensing changing lives and just seeing how you really turned the life that you were given into something completely different?
Opposite of what I was told as a child, where I was told that if my mama was here, she would beat my ass.
Yeah, opposite of that. Opposite.
Of that, I think she would be.
I want to know what you believe she would.
I think she would be proud of me. I think she would think my sister is beautiful. I think she would be proud that me and my sister share all this time together. We grow together. We think alike. We're business women. We're educated. I think she would be very proud of me because she would be able to say, just like I say with my kids, that's my daughter. When she see my name somewhere, that's my daughter. And we know Facebook is huge, and everybody get mad because people ask about me in their other groups. But my mother, I believe, would be like,
Mm-hmm.
"Don't try her. That's my daughter, though." Feisty. She was feisty, just like when people come at me on the internet and how I compose myself, and I don't get into the Facebook drama. That's my daughter, but I wish she would beat you up because she
I can
was
hear that. I can hear.
feisty.
I can definitely hear that. Now,
My
if we
mother was
turn
feisty.
the tables, I was gonna say, if we turn the, what would you tell your mom now if she?
I love you. Thank you very much. I love you because I do. I do.
Now, how has your grief
Can't be mad.
changed over time?
I used to not be able to talk about my mom at all. I used to avoid talking about her, just like I avoid talking about my father, right?
Mhm.
But I could talk about her now. I might cry a little bit, but I could talk about her.
Of course, I was gonna say that's your
Yeah,
mom. That's and she
I could
you
talk
lost.
about her.
She
And my
was so
children,
young.
yeah, my children forced me to talk about her because they wanted to know. They wanted to know that there was other parts of them than what the bad they saw in the family. Because that don't make them feel good. They're like, we're related to them people.
Yeah.
My children are very vocal, and
No, I
I
can.
make them hide their feelings. They be like, we can't even tell people we're related to them people. My children
I
wanted
feel
their
like
last name.
that's when I first heard a bit of your story. That's where I felt like we could relate because it
Hmm.
was very like tell people I have my parents, my immediate family, and that's it. That's all I've got here. The rest
My children can name.
we don't.
My children can name people on my father's side of the family. They can look back. They enjoy, like when my older sister was telling them about our family in Hawaii and how we have, because I'm cultured. I have all these different ethnicities in me, and they love learning about that. And because it's a more positive space on this side of the family,
Mhm.
right? And then when they think about my mother's side, and it's like there's nothing. They do nothing but try to take from each other, steal from you, mom, lie on you, want you to take care of them. And they're just like I respect my children's wishes. When they say we don't ever want to be around, you don't have to. We don't want to talk about those people. Oh, you don't have to. I will
Mhm.
never make you do anything outside if it does not make you feel comfortable. Freedom is choice. Choice is freedom, and they have it.
This is very
If
true.
me at my age don't want to be associated with it because it's if it causes detriment in me as an adult who knows how to regulate myself and my emotions and remove myself, I have to always think about what it takes. And my children see how you treat me. Our children see these things. Of course, your children want to protect you, and my children shouldn't feel like they have to protect me, but they do.
Now, just because we touched on this subject and what are some tips you would give parents who are, or anyone that's trying to represent themselves and to start speaking on fighting for their children or their grandchildren?
You start by listening to that child, and and some can't be vocal because they're trained not to be vocal, especially in the black and brown household.
Hmm.
We're trained that what happens in this house stays in this house, and you know that,
Hmm.
right? So you watch that child's body language. I cannot stress this enough. If your child is in a room with somebody and your child is not acting like your child, they're withdrawn, they're quiet, they're just looking uncomfortable. Don't have your child around that person no more. And you start giving your child a safe space to open up. If you ask little questions day by day, they'll open up. Yelling at them. Stop yelling at them. Speak to them. Let them know. Keep reassuring them every day. Hey, if there's anything you want to talk about, you can talk about it with me. Such and such won't be back here, but you can talk about it with me. And I'm going to listen. And you keep reassuring them. Eventually, that child is going to open up to you. They're going to open up. But you can't ask them that. And then if they don't open up fast enough, you get frustrated and you start yelling at them.
Hmm.
You have to give them space to trust you because there was some reason that they don't trust you, whether it was because that person threatened them not to, conditioned them not to, or you was too hard on them and they don't. I even had to learn that in my own home.
I was going to say, I think that's why, the listening was so important in naming this episode. When they said it was to protect you, sometimes we have that belief that we're protecting our children in so many ways, whether it's hiding or stop crying. You feel like, hey, I'm telling them stop crying because it's an emotion I can't control. But in
Hmm.
reality, you're teaching them how to suppress their emotions.
Yeah.
You're, um, okay. So that's just, it goes to show the importance are paying attention to the social cues. You are seeking help on how to become more aware of things you can change in your behavior to make
Hmm.
sure your kids are being listened to. Because if there's anything that I can share of my personal experiences, I remember I would ask the boys, like, how can tell me when you feel that I'm not listening. and then they're like, okay, and then they would forget, and they would forget, or not forget, but maybe they didn't know when to tell me, like, hey, this is a moment, because they're not adults.
Mm-hmm.
And now with, going through your coaching, I've been able to truly learn, like, sometimes us learning, us actually seeking outside help, um,
Yeah.
connecting with other parents and saying, like, hey, what kind of works for you that we can try? Because
Mm-hmm.
it is as simple as saying, planting that seed of, you can talk to me, you can share with me what you're feeling, even if it's kind of superficial at the beginning, and then that you need to talk about.
Okay. Okay.
Because I,
And you're correct. You're correct. I even found myself. We're talking about minds and healing before I learned to heal. And even let me tell you, I told you, me and my sister, it took us a long time to find each other. And even after she found me, it took me a long time because I was so conditioned, right? I hurt my sister now. I was so conditioned to be apart and to be isolated. I still isolated, right?
mhm,
So now it's like, even here, my sister's talking to me, and she's older than me, and I respect her, and I'm listening to her because I yell sometimes. You know me, Mimi. You know me. I yell or I'll go off. Don't let my emotions be off. And she's like, "No, Ebony, I'm grown, so I'm not gonna yell." And I'm like, "Well, how can you not yell at them? Go yell at them. They're not listening to us."
uh-huh,
So I'm even learning now. I'm like, catch yourself, catch yourself. Why they listening to your sister just a little bit faster? And my kids are not hard headed, but they take me as, hey, that's still my mom. I know she ain't gonna beat me or nothing like that. Yes, Bella. Hold on. So, but I'm like, well, why they
okay,
listening to my sister and her husband faster than me? And I'm looking. I talked to her. She's like, oh, cause I didn't raise my voice. Well, I'll be darned, lady. Let me not raise my voice. And it's when I'm agitated. I might have been dealing with or reading a case and it got to me and then they're poking at me. You know how Bella jumps on me all day. I'm like, no,
mm-hmm.
stop. And then I'm yelling, go upstairs. And she's like, no, I want to be with you. But just go upstairs. Let me finish this. So even at this age, after knowing what I know, I can still catch myself. I can still catch
Mm-hmm.
myself. Like Bella crying the other day. It's not even real crying. She's just whining. And I'm like, Bella, you don't never cry. Why are you crying? And then I'm realizing, okay, you have to honor her feelings because you want your feelings honored. And you're grown. And you want your feelings honored. So then I look at her and I'm like, okay, Bella, you want to talk about it? And then she's like, no. And then left. I'm like, so you're playing with me. But
Just like,
Zaria, you know, personality. When she's really crying, and I'm like, because when you look at her, she doesn't look like a normal 16-year-old. She's taller than me. She's bigger than me. So I'm looking at her. I forget you're still a child, even though you look like a grown woman.
mm-hmm.
You're still a child. So at first sight, like, why are you crying? Grow up. And
Mm-hmm.
it was my son that said, "Ma, how can you ask her to grow up and she's a child?" Like, yeah, she is a child. So we was talking yesterday while she was helping me get something out my suitcase, and I'm like, I just feel like some of it is emotional manipulation. Sometimes we could talk about it as opposed to crying about it. You don't even attempt to talk about it. First, at your age, I'm thinking you could talk about it. She's like, well, Mom, sometimes you're a little busy. You can't listen. And all you had to do was tell me that. You needed me for a minute. Because I'm always going to, if you tell me you need me for a minute, the same way KJ will be like, Mom, can we talk? If the 6 year, 7 year old can do it, the 16-year-old can do it. But then I have to realize two different personalities, two different mental.
Yes.
You have to meet them where their mental is. So I got in my car with KJ and Bella, and I was thinking, I'm still agitated now. I'm at the Walmart here, bad customer service. I'm agitated, but I'm thinking the child wasn't in the wrong. Ebony, you were.
Oh,
You were.
that's tough. That's tough to be like, I'm the parent, but I can be
Mhm.
wrong.
I could be
And
wrong. Hmm.
I'm not God, I'm not right, because, I don't know, parents are gods. You don't mess with the the gods. Like you say,
That's how it
nothing.
is in the black household too. When a parent says something right, wrong, or indifferent, That's what it is. No, that's not what it is. And we got to stop teaching them now. We could teach them, we can apologize to them. If we want them to learn
Hmm.
something, we can apologize to them. If we're wrong, we can own it. We're not perfect. There's no handbook, remember?
Right. So on that note, I really want to go ahead and start closing it out. But before we do, I wanted to ask if we could take like a 5 minute break. And hopefully everyone will come back and join us. We just have a little 5 minute break to let my emotions, because your story has been a good emotional roller coaster of growth. So let me go ahead and ask for a 5 minute break.
That works.
Okay, we're back. All right. So thank you everybody for letting us take that break. Olanda for our tech support. Just want to shout her out one more time. So
She runs
Ebony,
our lives.
right? She saves us. Again, you've lost and so many obstacles. How the truth is good to set you taking us on your journey, even of having lost your mom and now being a mom yourself and doing the best you can with what being an advocate for all mothers out there, all fathers. Um, and even when it's painful, showing us that we can grow from you now. It just inspires me to know that no matter what happens in my life and what outcome my journey may take me in as far as in the courtroom, we can do this. We can do this. And
We
having a
got
community around you is so important. So thank you for all of us.
and you got to
One thing,
remember, like
huh?
I always say, we don't lose as long as we keep fighting. So if the outcome is not the outcome we want, we recalibrate and we go back. We
A
go back.
couple of questions, and these are just out of just what I've heard from you. But if you had a message and your voice is able to be heard by young or youth, what would you kind of with them when you're losing a parent at a young age? Process of you're underage, you can't really speak up as much as you would like to. Like, what kind of advice would you give them?
It's not your fault. It's nothing you can really do. It's out of your control. We don't control life or death, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even with my children, I prepare them like when I got sick. I prepare them like there's nothing. There's only one God that controls life and death. You let no one else control you, your life, your emotions. You have some control, but it's not life and death. But know that it's not your fault. You cannot cause death,
Mm-hmm.
and no one can speak for another on how they feel about you or how they deal with you. There's another one coming up. Oh, I'm sorry. You're fine.
How do you feel that your story?
One is coming out.
So, if you want to go ahead and do that, Olanda, you definitely can. I'd appreciate you so much. All right, and we're back. So, AB, I thank you so much for again sharing with us all this and taking us through this journey. We have three more episodes to go. Honestly, seeing everything that you've shared, I know how much more we can go. But I'm ready to go on that journey with you. So, if you could leave one message for anyone struggling with loss, betrayal, or truth, they're just beginning to uncover, what would you tell them?
Choose you. Choose you. And I talk about healing a lot on my platforms because without healing, you can't choose you. We choose to put ourselves into everybody else to hide ourselves, to hide our trauma. If I'm healing someone else, I don't have to think about me. But you can't. You have to choose you. We have to all start choosing us. We can't raise our children until we heal. And our children deserve to be raised by happy, whole individuals. So choose you.
Okay, well, and we want to thank you for joining us and this powerful and deeply personal conversation that I know couldn't have been easy for you, Ebony.
I would only share
So to
if
Ebony
you.
for oh, thank you. I genuinely believe you because when you asked me, I was like, what? Me?
Mhm.
So I love space in your heart. Genuinely, I can't imagine that being easy at all because we've only been knowing. I say I joined your group in December, but I really didn't actively start feeling like I understood what this was for and how it could affect me. I want to say till like February. And that's when you and I really were like, let's do this. And I've been like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, but I know it feels like it's the right place to go because you made me feel heard. You made me feel seen. And you really just made me feel like I had one more reason to stay because I, as a mother, thought I was losing my children. And it was nice to have someone and giving me
And,
that space.
and they
Uh,
feel hurt too. We've learned that they feel hurt by their mother.
they, they do. They do. I just needed someone to teach me, you know?
And they feel hurt. And they love you. I watched them cuddle with you.
Hi, Evie.
We
But
have
it just
pride.
the power of you have
Yeah,
to
we
say
have.
it's just the power that you have. I'm so grateful. I'm so sorry for your journey, but at the same time, I know that that is what led you to be this beautiful kid. And I don't think it would have guided you to me and to all the people that you're helping. Um, but I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your sacred part of what you never shared. And I understand why you never shared it
Yeah.
because the online community can be overwhelming with their opinions. Um, so thank you for just sharing your heart and reminding us all that within all this, there is some strength. There's going to be loss and it'll come and go. Going through litigation, we are capable of still remaining true at heart and the growth within. So, to anyone listening who's walking through grief, whether in recent or long ago, I hope this episode reminds you that you're not alone and that strength doesn't always mean standing tall. Strength sometimes will mean falling and knowing that it's okay to stand back up and that that only makes you stronger. It means simply allowing yourself to feel and to continue to show up as time and time again. Ebony has shown in our community love most, we have to persevere. Ebony's mother may no longer be with us here physically, but here her presence lives on in Ebony and every moment, I know that she is watching over you and she is saying what you believe she's saying. Because I know she speaks through you, Ebony. She loves you. You're doing great. And at that, because
Yeah.
you're teaching your children to be advocates for themselves and to. I hope this helps everyone empower them. Um, we will see you in our next episode. Ebony, you want to let them know when it is?
Our next episode, I believe, will be this Sunday. I'm not good with the calendar. At 6 we'll post it. But I tried not to have my devices today because then I would have been in the group.
No, but it is this Sunday.
October
It's
the
gonna be at
6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, I believe, and it's October the 19th. We hope not to have
all right. Then we
tears
will
and get through it a
see
little
you.
faster for you all.
I was gonna say, yeah, but I'm pretty sure they were tearing up with us. So thank you, Ebony, again, and we will hop off. Alonda, if you want to do us the courtesy.
Bye, everybody.